Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Visible.
Tsunami which struck South Asia wreaked havoc in Tamil Nadu also. Death toll in Tamil Nadu ran to thousands. Each affected village had at least over 100 deaths. Villages adjacent to Samyapete, Pudukuppam, Pudupete, and Parandipete had 5 times higher number of deaths as compared to Samyapete. So, how were so many lives saved in Samyapete?
On that day, a rice dealer, Jayalakshmi from the neighboring village, had gone to Samyapete on business. She went to the beach around 8:40 in the morning, and a huge wave toppled her over. She looked back and saw a bigger wave approaching. She was scared and tried running away, but was entangled in some fishing.
Video is not visible, sir.
Crashed over her.
Video is not working.
No, sir. Video is not. Only audio is working.
Oh, sorry.
Audio.
Wait.
She saw people holding onto the trees to save their lives. She felt that she would survive as she was.
So nobody told me that. So let me again share you. Is it visible? Is it okay now?
Yes, sir. Now it's visible, sir.
Yes, sir. ಪ್ಲಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಇದು
Tsunami which struck South Asia wreaked havoc in Tamil Nadu also. Death toll in Tamil Nadu ran to thousands. Each affected village had at least over 100 deaths. Villages adjacent to Samyapete, Pudukuppam, Pudupete, and Parandipete had 5 times higher number of deaths as compared to Samyapete. So, how were so many lives saved in Samyapete?
On that day, a rice dealer, Jayalakshmi from the neighboring village, had gone to Samyapete on business. She went to the beach around 8:40 in the morning, and a huge wave toppled her over. She looked back and saw a bigger wave approaching. She was scared and tried running away, but was entangled in some fishing nets. The wave crashed over her. Some villagers pulled her out of the water and put her on the boat. All around, she saw people holding onto the trees to save their lives. She felt that she would survive as she was in a boat. But then, the third wave crashed on her and she lost all hope. Anjappan, a local villager, saw the waves tossing Jayalakshmi around and called to her to hold on to a tree. As Jayalakshmi was being dragged back, Anjappan jumped from his tree and pulled her onto the slush. He immediately took her to the first aid center organized by the women. Jayalakshmi acknowledges that she is still alive only because of the prompt first aid given by the women of Samyapete. Das, his father and brother, had gone to fish very early in the morning. An inner instinct told them that something was very wrong. The sea was behaving strangely. They decided to return to shore. As they returned, they saw a deserted beach with broken boats lying all around. Das was among the 200 fishermen of Samyapete who were at sea that fateful day. If they had been warned in advance, they would have remained on the sea where they were safe. Das reached the shore after the second wave had wreaked havoc. His brother tried warning him. Das and his family were swept away by the third wave. Das had the presence of mind to make his father hold onto a coconut tree. Naguran saw the sea being unusually turbulent that day and realized that he had a decision to make. Either he could take care of his family or go and try to save his boats. He realized that his wife Girija was perfectly capable of taking care of herself and their family. So he went to his boats. He got worried when he saw the toppiness of the sea and sent his son back to warn the village. Meanwhile, their daughter alerted Girija of the danger, and both of them ran, picking up whoever they could, all the while warning the villagers to run. The prompt action of Girija and the members of the warning group saved several villagers who otherwise might have been trapped inside their houses.
As the waves receded, the men rushed into the sea to rescue as many lives as they could. With their boats broken, they were forced to resort to improvised rafts of plastic boxes, broken pieces of wood, empty barrels, cut logs of wood. Suddenly, each person remembered distinctly all that they were taught. What was initially a joke to them became a matter of life and death. Meanwhile, the women set up the first aid center near the Roundtana. As the men brought the victims back, the women would give immediate first aid before they rushed the patient to the hospitals. Each member of the community, man, woman, and child, were actively involved in handling the enormity of disaster. By the time help from outside reached them, the villagers realized that they had already saved 50 or 60 lives.
எதிர்பாராத அந்த அலையில வந்து யாரையும் காப்பாற்றணுன்ற ஒரு பயம் இருந்தாலும் கூட எங்களுக்கு இந்த பயிற்சி வந்து துணிச்சல் எங்களுக்கு அந்த உண்டு பண்ணுச்சு. சரி, நமக்கு இப்படிலாம் சொல்லி தந்தாங்க, இதெல்லாம் இப்படி பண்ணணும். அலை வந்து முடிஞ்ச பிறகு மயங்கி இருந்தவங்களையும் அடிப்பட்டவங்களையும் எந்த பயிற்சியாலும் நமக்கு கொடுத்தாங்களோ அந்த பயிற்சியை கொண்டு நாங்க மருத்துவமனைக்கு அழைச்சிட்டு போற வரைக்கும் எங்களால செய்ய முடிஞ்ச மருத்துவமனைக்கு அனுப்பிச்சோம்.
ஒரு பெண்ணுன்றவங்களுக்கு ஒரு துணிச்சலை கொடுத்தது, ஒரு நம்பிக்கை வரவழைச்சது, நம்மளால எதையும் சாதிக்க முடியுன்ற ஒரு தன்னம்பிக்கை வந்தது. எல்லாமே வந்து அந்த பரிசுனால ஒரு தைரியம் சார் உள்ள இருந்த ஒரு அந்த கூச்சம், அந்த ஒரு நம்ம ஒரு பெண்ணு 4 பேர் முன்னாடி போகக்கூடாதுன்னு ஒதுங்கி இல்லாம சமமா பெண்ணுக்கு ஆணுக்கு பெண்ணு சமமா, ஆனா ஆண்களுக்கு பயிற்சி கொடுத்தாங்க. ஆண்களும் இதை ஈடுபட்டு செஞ்சாங்க. எல்லாரும் அவங்க சொன்னது பிரகாரம் எல்லாருமே திறமையா செய்து முடிச்சாங்க சார்.
You have made comparison of Pudupettai, Pudukuppam and Samiyarpettai village. Even you have analyzed the number of deaths and the location of deaths, and all the data reveal clearly that this village, it was the variable which has worked is the training and capacity building of the people before the calamity.
In any disaster, the maximum number of lives can be saved only in the first few minutes. And it's only the affected community which can best take care of itself until outside help arrives.
Okay, I'll share another presentation. Is it visible to you?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
PowerPoint is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you. Just now you saw the film, and before break, I was showing another slide also. What are your immediate reaction by seeing first? Let us go to the film, short film. What are your immediate reaction and how the community role is being played in this particular disaster, and what was the initiative by the district administration before the disaster and how it worked during the disaster? Can anybody? Will the women also work equally along with men during disaster search and rescue? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How did it happen in this case in Samayarpete? In Samayarpeta, how did it happen? Women were trained before the disaster, Women and men both were trained, but who rescued the people? More lives?
Women rescued it.
Women rescued about 50 to 60 people before the responders arrived. Before the rescuers arrived, the first responders, particularly the women, fisherwomen, they could rescue at least 50 to 60 lives because of their training by the district administration before the disaster. So they did not anticipate that there is going to be a tsunami, but considering the fact that the coastal belt is always vulnerable to cyclones and other disasters, so they trained them in first aid and search and rescue skills, and therefore women could able to give alert to all the people in the all the families running across the states and asking them to come out of the house and run to the higher elevations and safer places. Therefore, all the people, they could able to come out of the houses and went away from the vulnerable areas. So thereby they saved many lives. Not only saved the lives by giving first aid, but also they alerted many people to go to the safer places during the tsunami. So this is what is important. The role of community in disaster management, both during, before, and after the disaster, is very, very important. So in Karnataka and other states, under the Abdamitra scheme, we are training about 300 to 400 volunteers, community volunteers in every district in search and rescue skills, medical first responder skills, and they will be used during flood and other disasters in the district during the disaster situations. So this is being done continuously by Karnataka government, and also we are also involved in that Center for Disaster Management. So we are jointly conducting some training programs for those volunteers. So this is the community level initiatives we need to do. School community is also important. Why I am showing this film? That community should be made aware of their disasters, and during disaster they will be able to better respond and save their lives. And that is the disaster is continuously every year. So how does it happen? One thing is that we are developing so many schools, we are constructing so many buildings, hospitals, etc., etc. So many schemes are implemented by the government. We are constructing a lot of infrastructure projects. At the same time, are you also taking care of the disaster risk in those projects? That also needs to be seen. If a big college, multi-story college building is constructed with all the infrastructure, disaster risk also needs to be assessed. Whether the building is properly designed and constructed, whether the infrastructure is safe against the disaster risk, everything needs to be assessed before the construction, during the construction, and even after the construction. So we have found many buildings are unsafe, and therefore they are recommended for re-strengthening, repairs and renewals. Otherwise, many such buildings have developed some cracks in the walls and pillars, and therefore they were likely to collapse if they are left unattended to. And therefore, retrofitting measures were taken up in such college and institutional buildings in order to save them. Okay, community role is very, very important, not only during the disaster, but before and after the disaster, both during preparedness, prevention, mitigation, search and rescue, relief, rehabilitation also. So we need to be very careful, since college teachers, college students, and communities' role is very, very important in all the stages of disaster. Now I am going to focus on your own colleges and schools. where what is your role and how you are going to play it during, before, and after the disasters. Okay. Just now we covered all those disaster management issues. What is disaster management and all, with some case studies. Now I am going to confine to your own colleges and schools and how the disaster management has to be done in your case. You can see here how the disasters have happened across the spectrum. You can see compared to 2019, and in 2020 alone about 389 disasters have happened, and that to flood and cyclones, basically storms. So compared to all other disasters, we have more number of floods and cyclones and water related disasters and climate related disasters. So what are the normal disasters in the colleges and schools, hostels? These are some of those disasters we can expect in our premises. Terrorist activity can be there, kidnapping, ragging, fights among the students and riots, fires, building collapses, accidents, health problems, stampedes. So these are the man-made disasters that can happen in educational institutions, and of course natural disasters can happen anywhere. Okay. So have you prepared for them? If you are all from the educational institutions, have you ever thought of these disasters? Maybe these disasters may not happen every day, but if they happen once in a year, then there will be huge losses and huge loss of life and damage. And therefore, you must identify all the hazards and disasters that could happen in the educational institutions and their premises. So what is the relationship between students and disasters? So students are particularly at different ages, they undergo different types of traumas and also psychosocial issues and mental issues during disasters, particularly if it is a pandemic, there will be different reactions. If it is a drought, there could be different reactions. So there can be different types of responses from the students. Even learning disabilities can happen in their educational curriculum. So that is also happening after the disasters. You can see here physical impact, educational impact, economic impact, all kinds of impact can happen after the disaster. So we have seen many students dropping out of the school, many students being kidnapped, many students in the child trafficking situations. So women, the female children being married off, students being married off. So many such things have happened, particularly during major disasters like earthquake, major floods, and even in the pandemic situation also. You can see such reactions by the students post-disaster situations. Like, they have their own expressions, body language, from which you can understand their internal trauma also. So we have, I just told you, children from 0 to 6 years, 7 to 12 years, 13 to 18 years, they have different types of reactions. Particularly, I can show you what kind of reactions they show, responses they show. They show isolation, and they less communicative, sleeplessness, dropping out of the school, increased risk behaviors, risk taking behaviors, any substance abuses, any other thoughts, feelings, activities, aggression, fights, destruction, kind of arguments, feeling of hopelessness. Then they also get involved in some other activities, the control or rescuing and organizing at camps, behavioral problems like aggression, lying, stealing, depression due to loss. So they are always feeling of guiltiness. So many other reactions can be shown by them. So these are the reactions immediately shown by the students after the disaster. You can see the adolescents into suicide also. Students getting died in the students. There are
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ
14 to 18.
ಅದೇನು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಸಂಜೆ 6 ಗಂಟೆ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ
ನಿಮ್ದು ಇದು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇವ್ರೆ, ಫೋನ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಟೀಚರ್. Okay, even suicidal attempts are being done in many educational institutions by among the students. So you can see the maximum number of deaths between 2017 to 19. About 24,000 suicides have taken place between 14 to 18 years of age. Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. So failure in exam is also about 4,046. Marriage-related issues, you can see about 639 out of 400. Love failures, health issues, physical abuse, emotion, sadness, confusion, tension. You can see even in IITs and leading institutions, you can see the death of students due to lot of other issues, on education or any other issues. So these are the things the students are facing in most of the educational institutions. We need to address them. There is a case study actually. I'll during pandemic, this has happened. Has only few friends not taking part in any extracurricular activities. Doesn't share her feelings, lack of communication skills, introvert behaviors. This is one small reaction by the student during pandemic. So we have what natural disaster. I already told about this. This is the Kumbhakonam event which was happened in 2014. The event has happened due to thatch roof. Many died of suffocation. No proper medical care and local hospital not prepared. The school didn't have school preparedness plan. Children were unaware of the do's and don'ts. So these are the reasons for 93 children getting charged to death in that school. Not necessarily that this particular school, but many educational institutions, colleges and schools have different problems. So we need to identify and address those gaps. Otherwise, similar situations can happen in any college or school. This is one incident, in a school incident in China, where 900 children were trapped inside the buildings in earthquake. So almost all children died in that, 900 children in the school building collapse during earthquake. So these are some of the buildings that have collapsed during earthquake. You can see all these buildings are collapsed. So fire safety, how the students should run like this. Okay, they should crawl like this, not like they should stand and run. In case of anything, they should go near the wall. In case of any smoke, touch the wall and go around the wall, and then get the door and then get out of the rooms. So this kind of training should be given to the students. Otherwise, they will be soon unconscious due to the smoke and they will fall and they will die. This is the problem in fire incidents in most of the buildings. Many times, out of panic itself, many children will die. This needs to be trained actually. The students needs to be trained in this, do's and don'ts. Because we have seen in many coaching centers and schools in many states, just jumping from the top floors and dying due to panic situation. Just I'm telling you the burn injuries, how they should be treated before they're before they're sent to the hospital. So if there is a burn injury and about 10 minutes normal or cold water, they need to do this and then they should be shifted to the hospital. So this is not done many times. That needs to be done. So students during pandemic, schools closed, outdoor activities were stopped. Many students in Karnataka and many other states, they went for swimming in water bodies. Hope anybody has seen this newspaper recently. We have done a research in some districts in Karnataka also. During pandemic, students went to swimming in the nearby water bodies and they drowned. What may be the reason? What was the responsibility of the teachers? What was the responsibility of the parents in such cases? Can anybody tell among the teachers here? What could have prevented them from drowning in water bodies? Anybody? Can I ask any one of you? Sandhya madam? So nobody is there? Anybody is there? You all switched off.
Sir,
Just I'm asking you, in 1 or 2 districts in Karnataka,
sir.
many students drowned during pandemic in water bodies. They went for swimming because schools and colleges were closed. So they went for swimming in the nearby water bodies like Kere Kattegalal. So what could have prevented them from drowning? Like about 300 students have died in some districts, maximum number during pandemic situation, COVID-19. Why did it happen? Why? What could the teacher do, and how the educational institutions have given the awareness to the students to prevent the drowning in water bodies? Why the students drowned in water bodies? Because water bodies were having slush in the bottom, and when they went for swimming, their legs stuck inside the slush, and they could not come up. So other students went to help them also drown like that. So 3 students, 4 students, 5 students, all of them drowned like that. So these incidents have happened in many districts. So what could have been the measures taken before such incidents by the educational institution, by the parents? I'm just asking you, all of you. They could have created awareness about the water bodies, slush and all. They should not enter those water bodies, one thing. Second thing is, the schools should have told about the dangers of the water bodies, their teachers, etc. So do's and don'ts they should have told. They should have shown some videos how the students have drowned and all. But thing is that every year it is happening now. Students are going to water bodies for swimming, like backwaters in dams, etc. And also coastal areas where in sea also they go, like falls they go, they get drowned there. So they fall, they drown, they die, get serious injuries also. So these needs to be prevented. Actually, educational institutions are also having some responsibility to create awareness about do's and don'ts. That's what I was thinking about it. Disaster risk reduction. Are you aware of this DRR? Anybody? At least you must know how to create awareness on DRR. All of you who are attending this.
Disaster risk reduction.
What do you mean by disaster risk reduction? Anybody please explain me in one sentence.
Trying to curb the severity of the disaster, sir.
No, in terms of real things, examples.
In case of fire, how the students have to escape from that place, and what is the thing, which fire exit they need to run, and how to use the fire extinguisher. Because we call the fire station people to come and do the mock drill. So the children are allowed to do it. Okay. So that's how it happens, sir.
That is one thing. Any other examples of?
There should have been given awareness about types of fire. What are the right extinguishers should be used against the types of fire.
That is one thing. One example how we can reduce the disaster risk by appropriately using extinguishers. If it is a chemical disaster, chemical, then different types of fire extinguisher. If it is a wood, then there is a different like that. So we can do that. But what are the other?
Earthquake also, sir, we always tell the children that they need to go to the open space and stand and protect themselves.
So in earthquake also, you should have both disaster risk reduction, disaster risk reduction.
Yeah.
In the building itself, you can reduce the disaster risk one way before the disaster by constructing a proper earthquake resistant building. That class was already done by Professor Prasad already. Second is, during the earthquake tremors, people can be evacuated within 4 minutes by doing regular mock drills. So that is what you are saying. Sometimes that protocol should be followed by the students and teachers without actually going to each class.
Yes.
That is happening in Japan and some other developed nations. But in India, it is not happening so far because teachers need to give that kind of awareness. Particularly in vulnerable areas, some earthquake vulnerable. That is missing actually, that gap. In disaster risk reduction, have you ever heard of Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction? Anybody?
Sorry, sir, can you repeat the word?
Sendai is a place, a city in Japan.
Yes, Japan. Yes. Morning session we had, sir, actually, that came.
What are those 4 priorities? And 7 targets given there, Sendai framework?
So,
understanding the disaster risk, you have to understand the disaster risk, all kinds of disaster risk in your premises or in the entire area, wherever you are, in and around. Then, once you understand the disaster risk, you know the different types of risks are there in your premises. And what should you take now? You should strengthen your response capabilities, strengthen governance, disaster governance in your colleges and schools. Next, you must invest in structural safety of the buildings. Then you give them proper training and capacity building to all the people around there.
And then, disaster preparedness awareness also, no, sir?
Yeah. First, that is what structural and non-structural disaster risk reduction. Both structural and non-structural, both. So that is basically disaster risk reduction. Basically, that is basically part of the disaster risk reduction.
Okay.
So you have to see structural point of view as well as non-structural point of view. What you are saying is non-structural disaster risk reduction.
Yes.
Okay. When structural also, if the building is having some major cracks, major defects, then you need to reduce the disaster risk by appropriately strengthening the building immediately. Otherwise, building may collapse. Okay, in due course, building may collapse. You cannot keep quiet. That is a negligence on the part of the authorities, which will attract punishment under the Disaster Management Act 2005. Okay, so that's what I'm again stressing to all of you, that you need to be very careful and identify all the defects in the buildings. That is one thing. And second thing is, you have to give non-structural awareness, like awareness regarding the do's and don'ts, fire do's and don'ts, flood do's and don'ts, earthquake do's and don'ts, cyclone do's and don'ts, and any disease do's and don'ts. So as small as diarrhea also, do's and don'ts. Okay. So these kind of things needs to be regularly done by the students by conducting some competitions. By conducting regular activities, like some project activities, competitions, debates, like that. Okay. So you can understand all these things. Why there is a building here? I don't know whether it is going to be seen here. Maharani's College in Mysore also collapsed, part of it here. You can see what may be the reasons for collapse from this picture.
Maybe incessant rain.
Okay.
No proper upkeeping of the building.
You can see the tree here, how it is.
Yeah.
It is in the wall itself. It started from the roof and went inside the wall. Roots. These roots also weakened the building actually. Because they could have been removed, but they have not removed. A lot of leaves were there on the terrace.
So
water also stagnated there for about 1 feet, 2 feet. So what does it mean? They have not maintained it properly. Okay. So that may be one of the reasons why these buildings have collapsed. Here meal poisoning happened in Bihar school. So meal, that is most of the hostels have a meal, so that needs to be taken care of. Rajasthan building has collapsed. So including 5-year-old students die there. This kind of collapses happen in many places in Tumkuru district, In Rajasthan, building collapsed within 8 hours. Bangalore circus tragedy happened where 80 children died, 70 children died in that incident. Still they were suffering actually. These are the common problems faced by the students in most of the schools, need to be prevented by the teachers. So here some kind of molestation kind of things may also happen. In Nainital, the school has collapsed. When I went there for conducting a training program in Nainital Administrative Academy, so this school had collapsed due to landslide in the Nainital.
But sir, the kind of disaster that happened in Mecca, on the way from Mecca to thing, was very unforeseen, and I think there was no time left to actually.
Somebody was talking there, so kindly, please. Some people are talking other things other than the training activity. Yeah, ma'am, go ahead.
So there was no time left to actually combat the disaster, right? And that's a very unfortunate situation that we were in. That and the Hyderabad bus that caught fire.
Yes. Hyderabad bus, you see, that is unfortunate event actually.
But that's a negligence by the two-wheeler driver, no, sir, because he went under the bus and the petrol was what caused.
Unfortunate. So such incidents can also happen. That both should be, at least the bus driver should have avoided taking.
Stopped it, yeah.
Stopped it. He should have stopped it. So here you can see 18 little children have died in this building. See, I went there and we went to the school premise there after the collapse, and we saw there was a message, there was a letter sent by the PWD to this school principal saying that this particular classroom should be left alone without any class being held there for some days. Because there was already a crack in the building and it is going to collapse due to the landslide. Therefore, we will leave the school, this particular class, and conduct the class in some other classes. It was already given to them. But principal, the teacher was continued to conduct the class in the same classroom, so it was collapsed, unfortunately, and 18 children died in that. Maybe they did not have other classrooms, so they continued. I think that's what they said. So, but they never anticipated such a disaster. So disaster happened. School building collapsed. That particular classroom, 18 children died in that incident. Now the principal was in the jail. Teacher was also in the jail. They were also in the inquiry. So all this has happened after the disaster. So we need to be very careful. That's why I brought some case studies for all of you to know what could happen. Okay. Here one tree fell there and this child died. Suddenly these trees also need to be identified, which trees are good and which trees are weak. So if the trees are weak, their branches are weak, you need to trim them off. So that needs to be done regularly by the school authorities, college authorities. Okay, that is also very important. You must see whether your school, college is safe. 31 teachers dead, 95 injured in Bhuj earthquake in 2001. 971 students perished, 100,051 injured. Formal education disrupted, damage to the physical infrastructure, collapse of the buildings, poor construction. All these things have happened in Bhuj, in Gujarat. So this particular school, you can see 900 students became victims of the earthquake in this particular school building in China. Stampede happened in Delhi, northeast Delhi. So 24 people and 5 children died in that. 300 children were trapped in a school building in Odisha. Then the Supreme Court issued guidelines for school buses, vans, etc., how to manage the school buses, how to ensure safety in the school buses. So students should not exceed the seating capacity, first aid boxes, windows must be fitted with the horizontal grills, school name, telephone numbers, and even ID cards, identity card with all the addresses, blood group, etc. And a caretaker must be there in the bus. Everything was given, and driver should have a minimum experience of driving heavy vehicles. Everything was laid down, and all the colleges and schools are following these Supreme Court guidelines now. So what will be the impacts on the college schools? Physical impacts, educational impacts, economic impacts, and psychosocial impacts. Impacts could be health, undernourishment, malnutrition, inadequate hygiene, psychological impact, fear, anxiety, play therapies. These are some of the solutions I'm telling there. So schools being used as shelters, schools, if their colleges and schools are not safe, hostels, etc. are not safe, how can you use them as relief shelters? It is not possible. So girl children dropouts also happen. Sometimes even these effects, child adoption, child labor, trafficking, problems, family problems. Suddenly their status change from better family to poor family. Migration happened in many cases. Particularly these children, these people are facing a lot of problems, visually challenged during disasters and COVID-19, hearing impairment, people with physical disability, mentally challenged. During disasters, most of these target group is ignored. So we have seen many people being left inside the building and went away. So those are the people who have died in many floods. Even in World Trade Tower, WTC collapse, about many people were in the 80th floor. So they were left unattended to, and all of them died in that floor. In the second flight, hitting the building. So you can see many incidents that have ignored these kinds of people, the most vulnerable among the lot, and their deaths are increasing in the recent years. So if these people were to face a disaster, what we would do on? Okay, normal people, okay, they can somehow escape, but what about these people? So we should also see them. Therefore, in the schools, we need to have proper school safety plan, college safety plan, and I wanted you to follow these guidelines when you go back to your colleges. Take the responsibility of preparing at least one school college disaster management plan, or school disaster management, whatever the name is. If it is engineering college, please prepare for it. If it is any other college, also prepare for it. So you please take the responsibility since you are attending this program. I'm going to give you all these guidelines, and any more guidelines are also required. There's a handbook also, we will give it to you. Please use it. Prepare a small few pages plan, and then submit it to your authority heads for any gaps to be filled. Otherwise, you continue to have risk. Okay. So these are the first stage actually. You should give some small introduction, conduct some hazard risk vulnerability analysis, prepare a preparedness plan, response plan, and mitigation measures to be undertaken. Suppose you are going to prepare a plan for the college and school. You must write an aim for that. What is your aim? Aim should be like to save the lives and prevent injuries, or safety of the students and staff, prevent interruption of education during any recurrent hazards, disasters, etc. What should be your objectives to achieve the aim? Safe learning environment. Learn and teach disaster prevention in the curriculum. Learn and teach disaster prevention informally. Protects access to education. Structural safety is there to ensure structural safety of the buildings. Select safe school sites. Prioritize replacement and retrofit unsafe schools. Minimum non-structural risk from all sources. Okay, such type of objectives can be written by you to achieve the plan, aim. So what should be the steps followed by you? First, you should conduct a meeting of all of your teachers, head, school, principal, heads, teachers, etc. together. They should conduct a sensitization meeting and create awareness among all the teachers and the school management about the possible disaster risk. Then prepare some groups. Then go for this hazard identification. You should go for hazard hunting rather. We call it as hazard hunting. So in the school or college premises, what could be the possible hazards from outside the premises and within the premises? So you have to identify all the potential structural hazards existing in the area. Can you name few of them? What could be the possible structural hazards existing in the area? So maybe your library is not safe. Your chemistry lab may not be having adequate safety. So like that, if there is a staircase which is not safe, exit gate is very narrow, passage is very narrow, center block is not illuminated. Like that, there may be some problems. There may be structural cracks also in the building. So you have to identify all of those hazards inside the premises, within and outside. Outside the premises, what could be the possible threats also needs to be identified. Outside threats means road accidents could be possible in front of your school. Electrical, like high tension line, if it is running on the top of the school, top of the roof, or any other religious problems from outside the premises, any protest, any kind of communal violence or any strikes, etc., etc. If there are any water bodies also, they are threat to the school students. So you have to identify such type of problems from outside the premises while identifying the disaster or hazards. So 10 to 15 years history you should take. You must go around the floors, classrooms, labs, etc. Walk around there, visualize everything, identify all the hazards. Now once you identified the hazards, now you understand what is your resource ability. Whether you have skilled manpower, no. If it is no, then you have to form it. Then what are the materials required? You should identify, like extinguishers, ladders, thick ropes, torch, communication systems, first aid box, like that. Inventory of the nearest available critical resources. What do you mean by inventory of the nearest available critical resources for your college or school? So, for example, there is a hospital ambulance that is the nearest available. If there is a water tank, a big water tank available nearest your school and college, it is useful for fire extinguishing. If there is a fire station, there is police station, there is a private hospital, government hospital, the NGO located around you, inside nearby. So all the any private industry located around you. So all of them are critical resources which will help you come to your rescue during the disaster. So you have to identify, get their addresses, contact numbers, involve all of them in your planning process and response stages. Suppose if you do not call the fire service officer to be part of your school disaster management team, then they will not be available during the disaster. Regularly, they should be called to the meeting, conduct some mock drills, use them in the preparation process, ask them to come and help your school, college students while giving the awareness, while conducting the mock drill. So all these steps will have to be carried out later. So first is to identify all the resources. Next is prepare some maps. Your maps are already there. Your layout plan map will be there. Prepare hazard map. Prepare the resource map. So then you will display it properly. Route map also, escape route map. So how the students, everybody will be escaped from the building during the crisis. So all that needs to be prepared. Critical resource map. So including all of them here. So like primary health center, etc., Red Cross, injury rate, medical shop. Even these officers like DC, SP, where they are located. Vulnerability mapping, where how many number of classes are vulnerable, how many people are vulnerable, everything. So inside the college, school premises. Even electrical conduits, switch ports, all of that. Okay, even sumps also inside the school, college. Where is the sump? Where is the food hostel? This LPG cylinder. Where is the kitchen? Whether the kitchen is safe. Whether any students is going and get into those LPG cylinder, or this sambar making pot. If they get drowned in that, what will happen? So some it is open. There is likely that students may fall. But sometimes overhead tanks are seeping and they may collapse. I'm telling even the sports facilities are not safe many times. So you have to identify all of them. So in some schools, different types of hazards may be there. Only thing is your team, school team should be formed and go there and identify all of them carefully. Once you identify all of those vulnerabilities and hazards, you will be able to reduce the risk If you do not know, then you will not have any chance to reduce the risk. So I am telling you, safe evacuation route needs to be formed. Okay. So you should show everything in the map from different classrooms how the students should exit safely from this particular exit gate, these classrooms, like that. So this should be prominently displayed everywhere in the college. Wherever there is a visibility, you must display it like this. So for example, here I will show you arrow marks. So these classrooms should go like this to the open ground. From these classrooms should go from this exit gate to this open ground. Like that, you must show the routes to the students how they should exit during any fire or any disaster events. Similarly here, this is escape route or evacuation route. Everybody should know, and you should also mock drill it. So how many minutes are taking to evacuate all the students and teachers, staff from this particular entire premise, from different floors to the open ground. If you do not know, and if you do not rehearse it, and if you do not do the drills regularly, students or teachers will not be knowing how to escape during the disaster. So there we will end up in loss of life and injuries. So this is one building, and you can also see some other things or some other maps also, depending on the type of building. So all IEC materials in the form of posters, pamphlets, films must be shown to the students and should be prepared and made ready in every college and students. Do's and don'ts, street plays, natakas, dramas, posters, cartoons should be continuously prepared and used in the drills in your college, in educational as part of the curriculum. So we must develop IEC materials before the disaster. IEC means information, education, communication. So you should conduct awareness programs in the school, conduct awareness activities, use the local police, fire, NGOs, and engineers also to give awareness. Even doctors also for first aid. So here it is shown here like that. Before the organized mock drills, etc., search and rescue operations. So just do the mock drills. So automatically students will come to know, teachers will come to know. So during the disaster like earthquake, duck cover and hold, or drop cover and hold, such type of activities should be conducted. Okay. So for a chemical hazard, what should be done? For a flood, what should be done? So all these fire incident, what do's and don'ts, like that. So after the disaster, these do's and don'ts, so that the situation doesn't worsen. You must get the alert from the district administration, IMD, and those who are giving early warnings, warning to the disaster, about the disaster. Like IMD and some state agencies are also giving the warning. You can also use the communication like walkie-talkie, ham radio, connection with the local ham radio operators. So all these communication equipment should be identified and kept intact. Not in the school, but wherever they are, you should have the telephone numbers, email address, contact numbers, etc. And they should also be part of the school teams, disaster teams. So this should be disseminated. The plan should be disseminated. Use mock drill regularly every 3 months to different activities like games, etc. Warning and information team. This member should be computer teacher, etc., etc. So even from parents also you can take ham radio. So such people are a part of the team. Materials required. So VHF, HAM. This fax machine is not there. Radio, television, mobile. So such type of materials are required for the communication team. Response team, all teachers should be members of the team, and you should have even members from other departments like fire, home guard, civil defense also. So they should have response team should have all the response equipment like fire, maybe fire extinguishers, it could be stretchers, ropes, it could be first aid kit, CPR equipment, etc., etc. So all of them. Make sure there are no hazards present for evacuating. So passageways, corridors, exit gate should be free from all the barriers during fire or any other incident. So I have seen many schools, the exit gate is very narrow, small. Passage is usually 1 or 2 feet. So people will not be able to run there, escape there. So stampedes do happen in such cases. Such and rescue team should be formed in your college, school, with STC, NSS, Scouts and Guides, Civil Defense Trainer, fire, police, etc. So you have to have a team, appropriate team for search and rescue operations. Similarly, first aid team. So you have some first aid team members. Here also you have to nurse, Red Cross volunteers, civil defense. So all of them, Red Cross is very good. Every district is having it is there. Please take some Red Cross volunteers in your team for first aid. So you can also have some doctors, paramedic staff also. So they will be able to give all the training to the students and teachers to this particular team. So that is done. That should be done seriously. Otherwise, first aid is very important. I have seen no kits are available in many schools and colleges. In fact, we suggest that every class should have a first aid kit. Do we have this, sir? All of you?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you have any first aid room in your college, particularly? First aid room? No.
There's a
All
medical center,
No,
sir.
sir.
So you must have that because whenever you do, this team should know where is what, what is where and all that. Everything they should know.
We have a small clinic, infirmary center itself, sir, in our college.
Even if you see there is a snake bite suddenly, what you should do, you must know that this team should know. If there is a heart problem in a particular student, suddenly unconscious, the team should immediately do the CPR. If they don't know, then loss of life will be there. That is why I am saying. If there is a drowning case, immediately they should be able to do the CPR. There is a burn injury, they should know how to give the first aid. Like that. There is a fall, how to give the first aid. If there is a broken leg, how to do the splinting. Safely, how to call the ambulance and send them to the hospital. So they should not see as a kind of spectator. They should not see the students suffering there. Immediately they should give first aid and take them to the hospital. Everything they should know. So therefore training should be given to them regularly. Even if the students are changing every year, even if the teachers may be changing every year when due to transfer, team should exist there by designation. So training should be given to them regularly so that you are very, very safe. Okay. So here health cards should also be prepared and given to them, like blood group, etc. So all this information. You should also have contact with nearby hospitals, because nearby private or government hospitals you must have contact with them. They should also be called regularly to your school for creating awareness. This is how the correlation between the college schools and medical fraternity will be established. So otherwise you will not have any support during the disasters. So like this, students are giving the treatment here because they are trained. They are giving how to do a bandage, how to tie like spinal cord injury, how they should carry, head injury, how they should do the bandage, snake bite, how they should carry this to the hospital. Many times they do wrong first aid. That should not happen. Fire safety team should be formed and they should be knowing how to extinguish the fires, whether the fire extinguishers are in running condition, whether the annual maintenance is done, how to use the fire extinguishers, and how to spray. Everything they should know. If they don't know, then therefore training should be given to that particular team. So what are the materials required? They should have everything in schools and colleges, like hard hats, study hats, gloves, and map showing all the locations, exits, so everything like that. Okay, electric switches, etc. So here they are doing it, being trained how to use the fire extinguisher. Even bus safety team is also important. Sometimes the colleges may have buses, so you have to have a bus team also to maintain the safety of the bus. So the students should be safe from from the home to the college, college to the home. In between, there should not be any event happening. So that should be ensured. So bus, first of all, bus should be safe, driver should be safe, guardian should be there, that caretaker should be there, and you should check the bus every time it moves. So you must have all the grills, everything written on the grills being fitted, written boldly, the college bus, school bus, and driver capacity, quality, everything should be checked. So then only bus team will be safe. So materials required are like health cards, because any accident may happen. Then local authorities, magistrate, police, fire, all these numbers should be kept. So the ID card should have all the numbers of the contact numbers of the students, their parents, etc. Okay. So here one drill is done here regularly in schools. So students should know if there is an earthquake, then how they should prevent themselves from earthquake. Conduct regular mock drills, fire drill, earthquake drill, flood drill, fire drill, like that. So after the disaster, we have psychosocial care, rehabilitation needs to be done. This session has already been taken by one person already to you. I will not go greater into the details, but you need to give proper counseling to the students who are having learning disabilities, who are affected by disasters, who are keeping silence, etc. Okay, that needs to be done regularly by the teachers. Teachers should also have some training on this psychosocial care. Has anybody got training in these counseling techniques? So you must have training on counseling techniques. Counseling means giving proper guidance to the mentoring of the students during crisis situations, those affected by the disasters. So regular training to the students, to the teachers on psychosocial care is also very, very important. So if I say what could be the counseling techniques, anybody knows? Can you tell one or two? Have you learned anything on that? Some of you.
But in our college, medical counselor appointed to include this.
No, one person is, of course, he will do. Not necessarily, teachers should also give some counseling. So teachers should know counseling techniques also, like, ventilation, active listening, giving social support, conducting some meditation, yoga, games, playing games, externalization support, externalization activities, bringing them out of the trauma. Like that, there are many things. So you need to learn and use them in your classes, sessions, at least for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, so that they will be aware of that. Every teacher is not only a teacher for the subject, but also to give them moral support so that they learn better. Okay, so that is what we are doing in our training institution here. In every training program, we have some psychosocial care sessions also. We develop their capacity to give social care to the students, and even not only students, even community also, who are coming to the government service in their offices. Okay. So educating a student is educating parents and community. So thank you. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Now I request one of you to tell what are the steps to be taken for preparing a school or college disaster management plan. Can you tell, one of you? First step, what should you do? Madam? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir. You are
first,
audible,
a
sir.
committee has to be formed, sir.
Okay, very nice. Committee has to be formed.
Yeah,
So,
disaster management committee.
yeah.
Then I think we need to set up the resource like first aid kit, fire extinguisher, emergency. Then
No, I'm just
also
asking
have.
you. No, like this, formal steps. So to prepare a disaster management plan is a mandatory for all the educational institutions under the Disaster Management Act 2000, section number 37.
Yes, sir.
First, you need to know this. Under the act itself, you are preparing.
Yeah.
And you have to publish it to publicly. Okay, disseminate. So that you need to understand. It is
That should be
mandatory for all
mentioned on the notice board also. That's what.
So educational institutions shall prepare disaster management plan. It is known. Second step is like you need to give a small introduction about your college or school. Like what is the population of the school, teachers, students, disabled, women, men, etc., etc. That is the demographic profile of the school. Then what should you do?
Then is identification, sir. Inventory.
Yeah.
Like first aid kit.
What are you inventory?
It should be first aid kit, fire extinguisher.
No, inventory of what? Resources.
Resources, yes.
So inventory of resources means nearest hospitals, nearest nearest resources like police, fire,
ambulance contact
numbers, hospitals, private, both private and government.
Yes.
What are the nearest available resources? Inventory of the nearest. First, you have to do it for your own within the premises.
Yes.
Next is from out of the premises, but nearest available.
Yes, hospital and things.
So whatever it may be, which is helping you.
Yeah.
Okay, that you need to do it and prepare a list of all those resources.
Yes.
Okay, with the contact numbers, telephone numbers, etc. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So next.
After that, I think so.
Evacuation plan.
No. I'm telling you the steps to be followed soon after you go to your college. So what you should do next is once you write introduction is over now. Okay, first chapter is over. The first chapter, what should you write? Aim and objectives. Okay.
Yes.
What you write? Some of you may please write it. Aims and objectives.
Yes.
Of your plan.
Yeah.
Aims and objectives of your plan. Without that, how can you move forward? Okay. So you write your aims and objectives. So for example, I say maintaining safe learning environment. Is your aim. So to achieve this, what are your steps? Structural mitigation, non-structural mitigation, bringing it in the curriculum every day, conducting mock drills, etc., etc. You write all of those are objectives. Yes. Okay. Next, first chapter is over. Next chapter, second chapter is identification of hazards, vulnerabilities, and disaster risk. How are you going to do? Form a team. Entire team, all teachers will move around. Make a team actually, at least you do the hazard hunting. So the team will go around, visualize, identify, analyze what are all the hazards, risks inside the school premise, and make a list of it. And
so basically, mapping happens, no, sir? Mapping of vulnerability areas.
You have to prepare the hazard map. Okay. Not only within the premises, but from outside also. Outside means it can be electrical hazard, it can be any open borewell, it can be open or closed borewell, open borewell or open well, or any other water body, road accident kind of thing. Anything it may be on the outside of the school. Whenever out of the college, students may go for playing or anything may happen. So all those things. One high tension line, etc., etc. Even sump also inside the school. As small as sump because students may fall in that.
Yeah.
Sump, even everything. In the hostel, there may be some other things. Hostel is different, hostel, there may be more hazards.
Yes.
So you need to identify all those hazards. Particularly, these girl children will have more vulnerability. Hostels and particularly those areas. So you need to identify all the hazards, make a list, make a map of all the hazards. So that is next. Okay. Chapter is over now. You identified all the hazards. Next, to reduce the disaster risk due to these hazards, what should you do? Mitigation. Mitigation plan. So mitigation plan means structural mitigation and non-structural
mitigation. Yeah.
So structural mitigation is related to strengthening of the repairing of the existing classrooms, buildings, hostels, exit gates, compound walls, gates, security arrangements for the in the school premises from outside for the any threat from outsiders. So all that will be part of the structural mitigation.
Yeah.
Non-structural mitigation means what? You'll have some like IEC component. So preparation of guides, do's and don'ts, preparation of these mock drills, and conducting regular activities like essay competition, drawing competition, debates on different types of disasters that are going to happen there. Create awareness among the students and teachers. Conducting mock drill is also part of the plan for different disasters. Not only you, but you have to take the support of others. Okay, like fire, so the doctors, engineers, etc. Okay, police, fire, home guards, everybody. They will have to come and help you. Okay. Similarly, this is a part of your non-structural mitigation plan. Okay. Next, preparedness plan. What are you going to do? Immediately tell me one or two things. Can you just spell it out?
In preparedness plan, sir, you
said already first aid team, search and rescue team, mock drill team, IC team.
Amount, sir. First.
What?
Capacity building.
So you have to give training. So all that needs to be part of the preparedness
plan.
For different teams, what kind of training and what kind of materials required needs to be properly provided. Okay, even sometimes some stretchers, first aid kit, ropes, first aid room, etc. Okay. So all that is part of the preparedness plan. Preparedness plan. Okay. So all teams will be part of this only. Search and rescue team, first aid team, IC team, mock drill team, all of them will be part of this preparedness plan.
Okay.
Giving training to them is also part of this plan. IEC component, conducting regular IEC activities is also part of this plan.
Okay.
Okay, preparedness plan is over. So preparedness plan also includes others also, other than it will include authorities like police, fire, and they should also be part of this. Okay. So okay, preparedness plan is over, mitigation plan is over. Then
response.
Response plan. Response plan. Whenever these teams are to be activated there, so they have to write standard operating procedures. So what they should do, how they should perform during the disaster. Okay, how to evacuate, how to give first aid, everything they should know. So that needs to be that training needs to be given to them, and they should work there.
Yeah.
So you must spell out which team should do what in the response team. So you have to write standard operating procedures. Responsibility matrix should be given to them on page. They should practice it and use it. They should not forget. Okay. So all that will be done. Even a snake bite, fire, students are falling due to becoming unconscious, heart problem, epilepsy. So under all circumstances, they should work. This particular team. That is response plan part of it. Okay. And you maintain the list of addresses and contact addresses and telephone numbers of all the authorities, important people who are helping you, both from the college, government, and private. You should have contact with them, regular contact with them. If you do this much at least, and prepare a small plan, and submit it to your authorities, get the funds in case there is no fund. Like there is a mitigation fund available in every state government now. You are all from government, I hope. There is a fund available in the Department of Disaster Management for mitigation. That fund is not utilized by the department, so you can avail that in case your college is short of funds for mitigating the disaster risk. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
There is a fund available. You need to send the plan and projects to the government, Department of Disaster Management in every state. They will be able to review the project and give funds for mitigation. Okay. 80-20 ratio fund is available. 80% for the response, 20% for the mitigation. So every department can avail that fund in case of any such type of problems. Hope all of you are aware of this now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know that there is no fund, there is nothing there, there is nobody who is helping us. Though these type of excuses should not be there. I am requesting all of you to go for seriously prepare a plan, submit it, implement it, get the funds wherever they are not only from the government, even from the CSR also. And try to make your school one of the most safest schools in the state, colleges in the states. So you should be a role model for all other colleges and in the country. So this is my message to all of you. I request all of you to do seriously. And you are maybe assistant professor, you may be associate professor, you may be professor. So your responsibility, go back and do this. Inform your head and inform the teacher and do the work. So with this, I thank all of you for interacting with me and listening to me in this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So on behalf of all the participants, on behalf of MMTC and on my personal behalf, we would like to thank